Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the start of a new championship here on the Tuesday nights. This is the LPB Racing IMSA Championship and I've got Will alongside me again, my fellow American commentator. Hello, how are we doing?
Oh, not too bad. Should be a good race today, especially lapping on a very tight track, so it's going to get very interesting.
So this is our version of the Daytona 24 hours, isn't it, Will? So we've got as close as we can to the actual real-life tracks. Unfortunately, Gran Turismo not able to, make us do all the original, the proper tracks, but we've got as close as we can, haven't we?
Yeah, we got as close as we could with Blue Moon, and hopefully when GT7 comes out, that so far seems to have the Daytona road course, so we'll be able to do it real then. But for now, we'll work with Blue Moon, and so far qualifying and practice all that we had through today looked pretty close between everybody. I mean, a few cars showed that they had the pace, but then also a few groups showed that they could run together and have a good pack throughout the race.
Yeah, so I'm just going to press pause just now and we're just going to run through the actual cars that we've got in the race. So we've got Bidster there in the front, he's in the Peugeot, and we've got Woo Woo behind him, he is in the Porsche. And now I'll let Will go through the rest. Actually, Will, I'll let you go through the grid because you know more than more of the teams than I do. So off you go.
Alright, so then we have TY and the All-American Racers Group Toyota inspired livery. Then right behind him we'll have Neil in the All-American Racers Group Toyota. Then directly behind him we'll have Stevie in the it's a Toyota, but it's livered as a Cadillac in the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, and just running out of livery options, so that's what they decided to go with. Radas would be in the next Wins Racing car, and then after that we'll have the next Wayne Taylor Racing car with Red Bull, and then in last in class and prototype we'll have Jamo and the last of the Peugeots.
What was and Woo Woo is in the same one as Rod, isn't he? And Bids is the Jamo's teammate.
Yeah, and Ben and Jamo are two teammates in the 908 Peugeot Sport cars, and Woo Woo and Radas are both in the Wins Racing cars with Porsche.
And I'll let you take us through GT class now, Will.
And then Lexus had a strong showing out in qualifying with Florida Man.
Brand new
and Lexus.
To LPB Racing as well. That's their first races here, so we wish them both best of luck. Passed their assessments with flying colours as well, Will, so definitely ones to watch out for in Division 2.
And they had a good, strong qualifying for these two guys, going 1-2 in their first race with a Lexus for with the Aim Vassar Sullivan cars. So Florida Man will be on pole with MGR following closely behind. Firepower coming in third, very good qualifying for him. In the Jaguar Jaguar racing car, and Keith right behind him, and his teammate right behind him. Then we'll have the first of the Porsches, the Flying Lizard racing cars, with Will in 13th overall, and Blake in the second of the Flying Lizard cars right behind him. And then we'll have the vets, that'll be the last two in class of Bradas and Steve Paramore. They struggled a little bit with their cars, but maybe throughout the season we'll see if they can find some pace.
Yeah, they struggled a lot with the handling, they said, I remember mentioning. So anyway, we'll go back to Bidster and we'll press play. 3, 2, 1, go. So let's get on with the race then. So we're coming up to the last couple of corners here on the formation, like we're doing a manual rolling start here, so just like they do in WEC and IMSA, so both rolling starts. So we're just getting ready for that now, and this is going to be one hell of an exciting season, Will. We've got multi-class, we've got first multi-class championship we've actually done officially on LPB Racing. We've done them before on the Bidster channel, but this is the first one on this channel. It's going to be an epic race, I think. And here we are, Will, we are ready to go. I'll let you take the start.
Everybody's going to be bunching up here and getting really close. We're not doing a spread grid start. All the classes will start together, and they're still coming. They're still going, and right about... Oh, they're still going to be clumped up together.
Got to go towards the line, I think, so it's close.
And they're green. And everybody spreads out. So far, it's pretty clean. No big incident so far. Woo is going to take a big jump down into turn 1.
You're a bit ahead. I think you're a bit ahead of us there, Will. We've just started on mine now. We've just started the race on mine now. Here we go, down towards turn 1, and yet Woo Woo, like you said, Will, he does get away quite well, and the Peugeot is left behind. And we go through turn 1. Vincent's just going backwards here. Neil Farmack and TY, the hybrids have just absolutely swamped the diesels. Absolutely swamped the diesels. And just to get my hook code commentator back into the sync, Will, 3 minutes now. And we go into the into the under the bridge, and we've got Woo Woo, T-White, Neil, Farmax sliding. Let's check on the GT boys, Will.
So far, so good in the GT class. The two Lexus have really taken off, and the Porsche had a great start off the beginning. Jumped ahead, but Ian and Will come together a little bit, and that allows Brados to kind of slip through and push Will wide, come out of the corner, and that just allows the two Lexus cars to pull away from that big pack right behind them.
Yeah, so we go out onto the oval then, and we're going across. I'm just going to put it up to sync, Will. I'm just going to look at the GT leaders crossing the line in 3, 2, 1 now. So that's where I am on sync. So just a little bit behind or ahead, but I think we're okay. So we go into the first corner, and like I said, both the Lexuses absolutely streaming away here. MGR takes the lead off Florida Man, and Florida Man's going for the cutback already. So clearly no team orders in that camp, and especially with the start of the race that just happened. Yeah, there's no point having team orders. The GT cars are all over the place. Got Bradders and Will side by side. Bradders round the outside, but then onto the grass goes Bradders sideways, and then ends up rejoining just in front of his teammate. But bit brave there from Bradders, but not easy to pass around the outside.
No, that's a very hard corner to pass around the outside because it's just such a quick corner. And you saw that bite Bradders a little bit there, going way wide and onto the grass and almost losing it. Now, so that has caused a few position changes so far in the first lap or two. People that had good starts now are kind of falling to the back, and everybody's moving. The only two that really haven't moved are the two leaders.
Yeah, but Vince is back into third place now. He's passed Neil Farmack and Rodders. So the Peugeot tipped to be one of the best cars on this track, probably because of the top speed of the car. It was a very quick car in qualifying, as evident from the pole position, but we've got to see how they are in the race. Remember, diesel, Peugeot, hybrid, other cars, so this could make for some interesting races as Bidster now gets right onto the back of T-White and Woo Woo. I wonder if this is a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, it's just going to be when and if any of these cars can get by here. And just these Toyota. So far, Woo Woo has just had a great showing out and prototype so far. I mean, leading had a great start, but TY here soon will be all over the back of that leading car.
Just literally go over the line just now. Look at the speed of the Peugeot, straight past TY like it was standing still. 57.5 for Bidston. He's already right on the back of Woo Woo through turn 1. He's got TY, and then he's going to get Woo Woo in the next corner. We go to the inside, and Woo Woo just drives around the outside. The downforce of that Porsche evident there, and the battle is well and truly on here in LMP.
Yeah, them Peugeots have great straight line speed, but right here in this section is where they really struggle, and you can see the places he gained has already been back. Yep. So, but as soon as I get back on this oval part, that Peugeot will get its legs up under it and make them passes once again. So
we're just going to keep an eye on this LMP battle, but while I'm keeping an eye on this, Will, if you want to go and check on the GT battle, and then we'll have a switch to that in a moment. Oh, Neil Farmack just grazes the wall coming out that last corner. In fact, we'll go to the GTs now, so I'll let you run us through the GTs, Will.
Right now, so far, no one's changed in the first two spots, but Ian has got his place, Firepower's got his place back in third. Now Blake will go to fourth, while Keith's in fifth, and Will goes back to sixth. We begin this race Keith's going down the inside on the hairpin,
just can't
but Blake will outbreak him just enough. On the previous lap, these guys are really going at it. I mean, even when they are now, they're going 3, almost 4 wide going down to turn 1 last lap.
Very idiocy. Yeah, makes you question. Yeah, go on, Will.
So these guys are really going hard at it right now, especially to get to that first pit stop that we'll have. You can tell no one's laying back, knowing that this is a long race. It's not long as we've done before, but it's a pretty long race for us season-wise. And they're going hard at it for how long we got.
And the LMPs, back to LMPs, Bidster's back in the lead, and that's before the straight now. So Bidster is in the lead. He must have passed them down into turn 1 and actually held it this time. So Bidster holds on to the lead, but now here comes the interesting bit, Will. The lapped traffic. This is going to really throw some curveballs. Oh, did you see the slide on Woo Woo's car into turn 1 there? 4-wheel drive and drifting that Porsche through the corners. I don't think he's very happy about being passed in the Wins car.
Yeah, no, he's really going to try to have to keep pace up here. And traffic is now coming.
We go, Bidster on the inside of Steve Paramore. Woo tries to follow him through. TY gets caught up. Oh, Steve Paramore's just letting them all through. We have got a rule that the GTLM cars do have to, stay on the line. They can't just give up the places. They have got right of way, and the LMPs have got to try and be patient and get through. Oh, Brad has tapped the wall there, and that could be TY's chances. Right over the back of Woo now. Could the move be on, Will?
Looks like he's going to try to get this move, especially with the draft. He's going to see what he can get, because them TSO50s are extremely fast and in a straight line. So this will be where he really would need to make the pass.
Will gets passed into the first corner, and he goes a little bit wide there. Neil Farmack trying to slip his way through as well in 4th place. And now Bidster's already through the next pack. Bidster's got, but now look, Bidster's stuck behind the 2 Jaguars now. This is where Woo and TY are going to make up positions as Woo dives down the inside of Blake. But now here's where the hybrids are actually going to be good here, Will, because they can just use that hybrid power to squirt past none of the cars. Oh my word, those Jaguars absolutely they must have wet themselves with how fast that Porsche were coming up onto the back of him. But now TY's stuck, Will.
And now he's stuck behind them 2 Jags and has nowhere to go, so he's really going to be losing time right here. And as soon as he goes right outside, another one goes right in front of him, so he has to take evasive action to get around him.
Oh my word, this is absolutely insane. As we go onto the oval and Keith goes down low, and Neil Farmack goes with him. And I think we mentioned we didn't mention it in this commentary, but in the race we mentioned something about the oval. Well, I'll let you fill people in.
And so on the oval part, just in the corner, that the cars were supposed to go low for the prototypes to go high, like they do in the normal Daytona 24-hour. And you see there, one of the Lexus cars stayed low, and there was a little bit of confusion there. And that happened a few times throughout the race, where people would almost have just forget or whatever, and have almost some close calls. So. But so far, lapping it's been kind of scary for some incidents, but that's what you're going to get on a really tight track like this.
Oh, Rodders goes down the inside of Florida Man, a little bit of contact there, but we're okay. Stevie's lost it! Stevie's lost it into the wall underneath the bridge. He's lost it, yep, he's recovering, but Keith goes past him, and I'm sure he'll be able to get him back out the corner. But Stevie, too much throttle, rear wheel drive and hybrid at the same time, so a common mistake in the TSO 30, but not the kind of mistake you want to make, especially with now that he's nowhere near his fellow classmates apart from Jamo, who is really struggling in that Peugeot.
And Stevie's going to go ahead and make the pit stop now. I guess he thinks his tires are gone. So I'll sit here over the pit stop. Looks like he's going to get 4 new tires and no fuel. He's going to go straight out. So now it's going to really change his strategy up.
Yep, so we're going to, just looking at Red Bull now, he's sliding his way through the corner of all. Tyres are on the way out here, I think. Tyres are not looking good here for people. We have increased the tyre wear this championship as well, guys. So tyre wear for this IMSA championship is it's on times 6 and times 4 now. So it's slightly increased from what it usually is, but we go around the corner and TY right on the back of each other as TY goes on the outside. No way through, and TY goes back to the inside now. But look, and they very, very equal on power. Once the hybrid's over, they are very equal on power, these 2 cars.
Yeah, the hybrid is what really offsets the 2 cars, but once they run out, they're very equal cars.
Run the outside, TY! Oh, he's run the outside! And we're front right corner to rear left corner contact a little bit, but TY goes round the outside of him. What a move there! Incredible, you don't see that often.
No, you don't. And one thing that probably could have contributed to that is if you look at tire wear to everybody, barely any on all the tires. TY, a little more on the one side. Then you go down to Woo Woo. Look at that right side front tire. That's almost halfway gone already.
And
so he won't be long for you.
We're just pointing to the fuel as well. TY's got another almost quarter of a tank in the car as well. How is he doing this?
That's something he's managed to do in any race with fuel we've done, and just save a ton of fuel, and it might work out for him here now in a shorter race distance.
Oh, the 2 Lexuses have pitted, and Blake goes down the inside of both of them. Oh, what a move! But then we've got MGR fighting back, Florida Man in there as well. The 2 new guys tripping over each other. I know they're teammates, but straight back down the inside goes MGR. Blake having a massive fight here with these 2 cars. Remember, MGR and Florida Man are fresh out the pits, fresh tyres, because the GT cars can't go as long as the prototypes.
No, they can only do maybe about 15 laps on a run, on a fuel run at least. Tires go before that, so these guys will be pitting a lot more often than the prototypes will, because they can more or less do a tire and a fuel run all at the same time, or these guys will be stopping more or less before their fuel runs out. So that'll be something to watch for, is these guys pitting and coming in and out of the pits right there in the middle of turn 1. And that could really catch up a few of the prototypes.
Oh yeah, I mean, people are being instructed to keep as far to the inside as they can when they go out the pitch, but still you can never discount the drama. But that took Florida Man a bit longer to pass Blake, and Blake's going to get passed again now because Florida Man's just thrown it away, and looks like Blake's tyres on that Porsche are not looking too bad. And one advantage with the Porsche, yes, it is mid-engine, but the tyres do seem to last a bit longer than the regular mid-engine cars, but you know, luckily in its division it's the only mid-engine car in there, so that's probably one advantage anyway. But yeah, that car's sliding around like hell now, and we've got Firepower just behind them as well. Let's have a little check on the LMP battle. We've got Bidster passing Bradders, we've got TY second, Neil third. It's just starting to spread out a little bit now. I think Ruru's been in the pits, so he's been in the pits, half a tank of fuel, soft tyres, so now we'll see the fuel wheel starting to match the length of the tyre stints.
Yeah, right about now you'll start to see a little bit strategy coming into play on that end of it. Blake having a major slide in turn 1 and going all the way to the wall.
Whoa. Is he? Oh, he's in the wall. Yes, he is. He's in the wall. Yeah, he's just recovering now. Well spotted, Will. I didn't see that. The camera didn't quite pick that up. But yeah, what happened there, Will? Just so you can describe to the viewers.
Going down to turn 1, you can tell his tires are gone every corner. He's about sideways. Yeah, I mean every single corner of the tires are gone. And again off. And he just went down to turn 1. I mean, hot, trying to stay on the Lexus cars, and then just got sideways, and there was no catching it, and went rear end first into the wall.
It looks like he hit the cliff on the tyres, Will, because just all of a sudden, looks like now, like compared to the last few laps, look, it's just sliding everywhere. Keith must think that Porsche's in Formula Drift in front of him, and Neil Farmack now's caught behind both of them. This is not going to help Neil, because he's slow behind these guys. He's going to have to wait and then get on the power and pass them both. But Blake will be heading for the pits this time, I would imagine. If not, he's daft.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he can stay out on those tires.
Neil's in as well.
Yeah, Neil and Blake's going to be in at the same time. So
and we've got the two Wins racing cars together as well. Oh no, Rodders is in as well. Yep, Rodders in as well. So it's all happening now. Well, I can't keep up with this.
Neil's going to be in and out, just taking tires, no fuel. Looks like Rodders is going to take a little bit of a top off on his fuel. And he's going to be out with just a little bit of fuel in the car. And Blake went in and out and added a little bit of fuel to the car, just enough to get about 3/4 of a tank to the car. So those 3 pit stops going in and out very quickly.
Yeah, can I just add as well that Stevie is now on the medium tyre, Will? Do you reckon that's going to be a good strategy around here? Because I know sort of it's got similar traits to Daytona, but I'm not sure if the medium is going to be the best tyre to go with, because with this track you do need a lot of good soft tyre grip traction out the corners, and there's a lot of long fast ones as well.
Yeah, the medium isn't really, I don't think, would be the best option for a track like this, just simply because, I mean, and also everybody else is going to be on the soft tire. We've seen that any time we've had tire changes in races, that everybody pretty much stayed with the soft because it was the faster option. So I don't think he's going to make up enough time on track to make it worth it in the pits. I don't think it would really happen. I can see why he would do it, but with the physics of Gran Turismo and how people are racing here, I don't think it'd be worth it. It'd be just quicker to have low fuel and go out on a soft tire and stop every 10 laps, and it would be to stay out for 20 and not make any time.
Yeah, so just while we've got a little sort of break in sort of on-track action, we've got, so just to run down the teams like we did earlier, so we've got Bidster and Jamo in the 2 Peugeots. I think that's the livery from 2009, Will, I think, if you just want to run through some of the technical bits of the liveries.
I believe that was the 09 livery. That was like getting towards the end of the Peugeot run. That's when they had that's when they really had the 2 distinctively different cars between the red and blue nose.
Yeah, Sorry to interrupt, Will, but we've got Neil and Woo Woo having a nice little battle here. Neil's caught right up to Woo Woo, personal best of the race, 57.6. And Woo Woo's in the 59s. What's happening to him? He must have had traffic problems, and now he's got more traffic problems. Steve Paramore's like, holy hell, these guys are quick. I'm just going to get out of the way. But looks like the Toyota's battery's working a bit better than the Porsche's, which is weird because the Porsche actually should have more charge in that battery, but it's not. If you look at the battery charge, there's actually more charge in the Toyota. Very, very strange indeed.
But that's also what we saw going back to the last time we used these cars, back to Fuji, of the Super Season race. The Toyotas dominated because of their hybrid power. The Porsches were out by the time they got the front straightaway, and on that long front straightaway had nothing. And it's kind of doing the same thing here, where by the time they get this front straightaway, they almost have no hybrid power, where the Toyotas do. So even now the Porsches can collect it while they're still driving, just the Toyotas can't, and Neil's going to get them down the inside.
Oh, what a move! He just clears Woo Woo. You couldn't put a cigarette paper between these two. As Neil goes round the outside of him into the corner, grass hits the grass. Woo Woo goes through on this. Even I make mistakes. Woo Woo goes back through, and as we see the plane landing in the background, Neil tries to get by, but now look who's on the back of him. Red Bull sneaked up, but I think he pitted more or less the same time as these guys, but his front right tyre's not looking its best.
No, and that's most of the time we see with Red Bull in these tire wear races is his tire. He has the pace, but his tire wear is is worse than everybody else. So he ended up losing a lot more time in the pits than most people would.
And Bidster's in the pits now. He's taking on fuel. We've got the GT battle as well. We've got Florida, so run through GT. We've got Florida man in the lead, NGR second, and then Steve Paramore unfortunately just being lapped by his own class. So not good for Steve Paramore. Just not really getting up to speed with that vet and hitting the wall there. Just not having a good time with it. And the vets really did struggle in practice. Will.
Yeah, they just couldn't figure out the cars. I mean, the vets are fast cars. That you'll see in the next race, but it seemed like these two just couldn't gel with the car, and they think there's time to be made with these cars. It's just you have to get used to it, and there's a way you drive them. You don't drive them the way you would drive any other American car in this game.
Mistake, foam board on the car, and sort of moved to the next corner. I think Red Bull had a twitch out the corner there. Sorry to interrupt that, Will, but yes, Red Bull having rather a moment, and Bidster's down the back of him now because he's pitted. So anyway, back to what you were saying, Will.
But the vets, they have pace. It's just that these guys aren't meshing with it. You don't drive it like a normal American car. You don't rev it right out. You have to rev it to about halfway, then you shift, and that's one thing that I think they're struggling with is just learning when to shift and how you drive the car. And
Bradders is on hard tyres and Steve Paramore's on medium, so that answers half your questions there as well. So yes, that is not going to be helping them at all. They could do is sticking on soft tyres, but obviously they don't really know what's going to be best at first, so they're just experimenting. But not as experienced as some of the other drivers that we've got in the group, but still quite fast runners. Just not quite getting used to the car, but hopefully in a few races they can start making some improvements and with the driving. And as you say, we've got TY and Neil who have actually chosen the vet for the Division 1 GT class, so that should be quite a good showing of the vets, especially with Neil and TY being teammates. But Christ, what a team that's going to be, Neil and TY. That is a strong pairing for the season.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the teams in Division 1 to watch out for, is that team right there.
That's is that a made-up livery, or is that a team?
Which one?
The TY and Neil's car, the Toyota.
The Toyota, that's the All-American Racers Group car from the 1980s in IMSA GTP. They ran the Nissan. Right. No, the Toyotas, the Gurney Eagles. They ran the Toyota Gurney Eagle cars back in the 80s. That's what they're going for because they really didn't have a lot of Toyota options over here in the U.S. So they kind of went with the old reason way, and that's why another team that has Toyotas had to kind of go with a newer livery that's not that car.
Yeah. I'm playing my European motorsport only card here, so sorry about the lack of knowledge there, but that's what I've got you here for, Will. You're the American racing expert because, well, you live over there, so you kind of know the racing, the local racing and everything. So I'm getting there, but we'll see in time. But as we've got Woo Woo now in the pit lane, we've got a busy pit lane now. We've got Woo Woo in, we've got NGR in, 0 fuel, Will. That was close. Because if you guys have watched the Suzuka race, you'll know, yeah, that's not good.
And now Woo is going to get out. Well. He's only going to take a little over half a tank of fuel.
Right.
In his car. Stevie was in.
Jamo's in now.
Stevie's still in. He's still taking fuel and tires. Jamo's in. Florida Man's already out.
I just want to point out something, Will. We've got the Lexuses now on a split strategy, so they were running together. Florida Man's now running the half a tank strategy, and MGR's decided to fill it right up. So, how do you reckon you see that turning out?
So far, I mean, really, with how many laps we've got, the prototypes are on 22 laps, and the leader is in. I do believe. I mean, it'll probably be the one with a shorter fuel in, because those seem to be the quicker stops. Just do a bunch of quick fire stops and get in and out, and that only seems to be the faster way to go. So far, both the Toyotas are in. TY is going to take 3/4 of a tank.
And he still gets out in front of his teammate.
Doesn't even take a half.
And he still gets out in front of his teammate. That's how much fuel TY saved. He could put more in, and he'd still get out the same ahead of his teammate. Incredible job there by both Toyotas. But so the All-American Racing cars out together, and they are now going to try and chase down the Peugeot Sport car of Bidster. But he's got a big gap here. Looks like Bidster's done quite well with the traffic as well. Will 58s down the board, and then a 57 the last time round. So quite decent lap times there from Bidster, and TY and Neil are going to really have to pull something out of the bag here to try and catch up.
Yeah, they're not too far behind. They especially with the speed of these Toyotas, and when they get to drafting, and with the pace TY and Neil have had, I don't see why they couldn't catch up. But it's going to be a really hard thing to do, is catch back up that big of a gap to Bidster in that Peugeot.
We've got the Wins Racing cars together as well, Will. We've got Rodders and Woo together. Rodders on less fuel and older tyres, so I would imagine he won't make it too hard for his teammate, but we'll have to see. Woo's got to catch him first. Rodders was a bit wide into turn 1, and we've got Red Bull there in 6th, Stevie 7th, Jamo in 8th, and in the GT class we have still got Florida Man in the lead, but remember they have now gone split strategies, and even with heavier fuel, MGR's just done his personal best of the race, which is only 2 thousandths faster than his teammates last lap, so that is quite an alarming thing. If I was Florida Man, I'd be quite scared now, but obviously remember we can see the data, they can't, but he'll see the gap coming down. I would imagine Florida Man will have to react to this, because that is incredible.
Yeah, that would definitely be something that Florida Man would have to look at, is his teammate going faster on more fuel. That Lexus may just be quicker on more fuel. We've seen cars do that in the past, so
yeah, the Audi.
That's going to be something that team is really going to have to look at. And yeah, the Audi is a good example.
I should know, I drove it. But there's quite a few GT cars where you get more fuel and they actually handle better. So we've got the Wins Racing cars battling here. We've got Woo and Rodders. Woo goes around the outside, so I think Rodders was trying to say just go that way, go past please, but Woo then is free to go, and he's got TY and Neil ahead, and Neil's now gone ahead of TY. I wonder if that's a team strategy there, Will, because obviously remember Neil's lighter, so I wonder if TY's trying to plan on saving fuel and using his teammate.
That would probably be one of the better things that they could do. Just let TY, since he's one of the best that we have to save fuel with. Let him sit back, save that extra stop, and maybe that'll put him up at the end. And Neil, with the pace he has, being able, especially a lighter car, to let TY draft with him and also bring him closer at the same time.
So let's hope they can try and sort something out, because that probably is going to be the best idea to do at the minute. Again, if TY saves more fuel, quicker pit stop, could come out near Bidster if Bidster's got to put more in. But that diesel's not doing too bad on fuel. But again, remember, no hybrid power for the diesel, but the diesel does have 600 odd horsepower all the time. So compared to the hybrids, which have normally 500 horsepower, but then they get a battery boost of like another 500. So, but it does run out. So a little bit weird there, but firepower getting lapped there by Bidster, and Jamo's about to get lapped by his own teammate here. So looks like Jamo's not having a good opening race to the season.
Yeah, he looks like you can tell he's struggling with that Peugeot, and it's not the car, because currently a Peugeot is leading. It's just like the driver is not meshing with it. It'd probably be the best thing that you could think of for that car.
Yeah, but Jamo just struggling to get used to the Peugeots, not quite enjoying it as much as Bidster is. But they both obviously for the cars, they weren't randomly selected. People had a choice of cars that actually ran in IMSA that me and Will picked out, and then people could just pick. The teams could pick whichever car they wanted for each division. As we've got Spinner, Blake's gone round in the GT class. Don't know quite what happened there, but something's happened. I would imagine it's probably tyres again, because look, the tyres are going down and the fuel is really low as well.
Yeah, and again, and that whole team, that Farmlander team, just another slide. You can tell is just struggling a little bit in this race, where Will had so far has a DNF on the car.
He had a disconnect earlier. Never even saw that. Sorry, guys.
And then before the disconnect, he had there was a spin before the disconnect, and then now Blake has just had his spin and hit the wall. So I mean, you can tell that the Farmlander guys are struggling a little bit today. In the GT class, but that could all be turned around. He's only in 12th. That's only 4th in class, so you never know. He could bring it back up after this pit stop.
Yep, hashtag sleepy commentator, because I didn't miss that by a mile, so sorry about that, everyone. I'm trying to keep up with everything I can, but that's why I've got Will here as well, to keep me back on track and to keep me into line. We've got Rodders in the pits, Will, and also we've got Blake just coming out as well. Fresh set of fuel and tyres on that car, and we've got Rodders. That is a lot of fuel going in Rodders' car, but he's very low on fuel, so it's going to be a long stop here for the Wins Racing car, and that could see him put. Yeah, he's behind Stevie now, and he's gone full tank of fuel, which is strange, but unless he wants to do full tank now and less fuel later.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking now, is go ahead and fill the car up now, and then when you make I think now that full tank, he should only have to stop maybe one more time. So when he makes that one last stop, he should only have to maybe do half a tank, maybe. So that last stop will be quicker than now. So it may be saving some time on track.
Neil gets caught up in traffic as TY goes through the inside. As Neil got caught up with Keith there, and TY goes through the inside on his teammate. So TY now takes the advantage off Neil, but Neil will know he's coming in a few laps because the fuel's going down. But yeah, we are over halfway. We're getting all the action in for you, and it's actually going rather quick, this race. I didn't think it would go this quick, but it feels like it's gone quite quick, this race. But plenty of action all around, and we've got quite a lot of cars together here now. We've got Neil and TY catching up to the likes of MGR's off the road. I don't think Brad saw him, and MGR goes off. The both prototypes pass, and TY goes into the wall there. That's not good. You don't want to do that too often. But yeah, the vets, I just feel so sorry for the vets in this race. They are really struggling.
Yeah, they're just, something with them cars are just not working, and they're really low on the pace this round. But we still have a long season ahead of us. It's only the first race of the season. Florida Man is now out of the pits. He took another set of tires, and MGR now will be in the lead. And this time, Florida Man takes 3/4 of a tank. This time,
so changing it up a little bit.
Again.
But remember the LMP cars will have to do the 41 laps. I would imagine the GT cars, with them being lapped quite a few times, I would imagine their race would be 25. So it would be about 35 laps, something along the lines of that. So they've got to try and sort of strategise for sort of 5 or 6 laps less than the LMPs. So that is going to be a hard thing to get used to. But so far, I don't think there's been many issues with traffic so far. Everyone's been trying to behave themselves. A few little risky moments, but that's what we expect in endurance racing anyway. It keeps you on your toes. But so far, so good, Will.
Yeah, so far everybody's been really mindful of each other. And we've had, like you said, a few incidents here and there that we probably need to something need to be done with, but other than that, really nothing major has happened throughout this race, and now we're actually in the closing stages of it with about 10 laps to go now, and the prototype field seems to be really spread out at this point in the race. Really, the only two cars together are the two Toyotas. GT is still somewhat together. They're spread out a little, but not as much as the prototype cars are. So that's really going to be interesting to see what can happen in these final 10 laps, to see if anybody can make some time back up.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the harder tracks on overtaking though, because obviously, especially for the lap traffic, because it's obviously you can overtake quite well on this long straight. We're looking at Neil and TY now, but there is not in the middle section. You've really got to commit to a move, and it's quite narrow, so it's all acceleration zone. So you've got to be really careful about getting your opponent past. And obviously, I think a lot of people have just got unlucky with the traffic, but everyone's trying their best. And like you say, yeah, the two Toyotas are together. They're Captain Steve Paramore. We've got Woo Woo and Red Bull in the pits. Woo Woo's just on his way out in the Wins Racing Porsche there, and he's just come out in 4th place. Stevie is now 5th. Red Bull's coming out the pits now, so Stevie's going to take 5th place off his teammate here. But they've got the same fuel, but Stevie's got more dead tyres, but that could mean a quicker pit stop for fuel if he needs it. We'll have to see what that's going to do. But Rodders comes through in 7th place as well. Lots of fuel in that car. I think he might have overfilled that, Will.
Yeah, I think so, with what's left in the race. And now one thing that I'm going to be worried about on track is MGR just made a stop right when they're in that pit cycle and he only took a half a tank of fuel.
Yeah, that's not good. He's have to do
so that's going to be quite worrying on why he would want to make one more stop.
Whoa, slide as he goes out the corner. Rodders had a field day with that. He got that recorded on his dash cam. But Rodders now has a massive twitch out the corner. MGR says if you don't get a move on, I'm going to overtake that LMP and really, really, really annoy you. But Rodders gets away, and yeah, that was a rather hairy moment. That, and you don't want to be doing that, especially at this stage of the race with the tyres. When you want your tyres to last towards the end.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, Keith's now going to be making his stop. I'd imagine 4 tires and a tank of fuel here. Let's see how much they're going to be filling up.
Massive slide, that was incredible.
That was good worry that he's going to lose it.
Does he know we're in GT racing, Will?
Now Keith, he's only taking a little over a half a tank.
Spinner. We've got a spinner somewhere. I think it's one of the Corvettes. It's Steve Paramore. He's gone round, and I saw an arrow pointing the wrong way. But yeah, back to you with the pits, Will.
And Neil and Bid just comes out of the pits with a little over in between half and 3/4 of a tank of fuel and soft. And Neil now comes out. Right now, Neil comes out of the pits right in front of Blake with a big slide.
And Blake's in the wall.
Blake is in the wall again. Now here's again another car that's going to be worrying on fuel is Neil. Neil took just over 1/4 of a tank of fuel.
Well, that Toyota is either extremely eco-friendly on fuel, or Neil didn't press the button. Well, he pressed the button way too early, should we say? But my main worry now is can TY go to the end? Because if TY can go to the end here, then Bids has got a bit of a fight on his hands.
Yeah, this is going to get really interesting now because at Peugeot you can see it looming in the background, and now TY has to be fast and save fuel all at the same time.
Well,
so
this is TY's
really
forte. TY's in his element here.
Yeah, this is where really TY thrives. So this is really going to be in his element. Bid now is going to be in traffic. That's going to slow him up. And I mean, TY has open track all in front of him all day. I mean, until he gets the oval. So he's really going to get lucky with this lapping situation. Yeah,
Bidster really needs to be lucky with traffic now. I know he's got fresh fuel and he's got fresh tyres as well, so he can definitely get to the end of this race. But I would imagine, knowing TY, I don't think he'll come into the pits now. If he does, it'll literally be tyres and gone. But I think I think knowing TY and the past races that we've watched him in, Will, I think TY's out to the end now.
Yeah, see here we're at about 5 laps to go, and that should be enough for 5 laps of fuel.
Yeah, that's
so I mean, at this point, TY is looking good for the win. But I mean, you never know, and you can tell in that last stop, Bid overfilled a little bit.
Yep.
There, he probably has enough for about another 2 or 3 laps in the car. But now he's going purple, but he's going to get held up by the vet of Steve Paramore.
Yeah, there's a little flash of the hazards to say thank you for sort of not getting in the way too much. But again, the GTLM class does get the right of way, and also to our viewers, we are obviously referring to the classes in the names of the actual American type. So it is DPI for the prototypes, which is Daytona prototype something. One will you just you be the
Daytona
expert.
Prototype International.
There we go. Even though it's only in America. Weird.
Yeah, because the Federation of Incompetent, you know what, kind of screwed that.
Yes. The Federation of Incompetent somewhat or others, yes, them people, they sort of ruined it for us, but still. And then we've got the GTLM. It's not GTE, it's GTLM, because that is what the GT class is called in America. So we are referring to them as the proper names. And TY is now being reeled in by Bidster. I know the lap times don't really do it justice, but Bidster's had a few clean laps here. This could be a purple one if he's lucky. So let's have a little look further back. We've got Neil third, Wuru's fourth. Wuru's not too out of touch in this, but I would be a bit concerned on the fuel level, and especially Neil's.
Yeah, Neil's is what's really worrying me. I think Woo could make it, but Neil is the one that I'm thinking is going to be tight on fuel. He barely has any fuel in that car. He has under a quarter of a tank of fuel. He has to go 4 laps on below a quarter of a tank.
I'm just looking at the GT field now as well, Will, because obviously it's for the LMPs. I'm just looking now, it's at lap 38 for them, so they've only got a handful of laps left. The GT field, we've got Florida Man, he's on just over a quarter of a tank. MGR's under a quarter. Keith's just over. Firepower can definitely get to the end and probably another stint. Blake's hardly got anything left, so some of these guys have really not timed this right.
Yeah, you can tell some of these guys really, the strategies really just didn't play out in their favor like they thought they would. And really the thing is, though, is most of these guys have never done this before. I mean, unless they're the one super season race we did. But the last time we had a season of this was over a year ago. So a lot of these guys are really having to get into the groove again of doing races like this. And you can really tell that it's something that they're going to have to get used to and be difficult because of how the strategy had played out here.
It's definitely a new learning curve for a lot of people in this one. So we are going to see a lot of teething troubles in this one, especially like with Bradders and Steve Paramore with the tyre choices earlier in the race. Just as I say Steve Paramore's name, we see him have a little slide there. They are on the right tyres now. They are doing now 109.6s. Guys in their class doing 107s. So it's not too bad now. They're on the right tyres. So maybe by the end of the season, Will, we could see them being sort of competitive within their own class.
Yeah, that's the hope for it. Maybe in the next few races.
Turn forms, trying to look, see what it is. It's Blake again. Blake is having a horrible time in that Porsche. The tyres are just dying quickly. I think he's spending too long on the tyres. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time with that car, it's like 9 to 10 laps max. You go on pit stops. And, I mean, he's going way beyond that. So, and you can really tell it's really biting him in the butt at this point.
I think the last time he pitted was at least, like you said, like at least 11 laps ago. So, yeah, he's been a while on them tyres. So, not good for him. But anyway, back to the LMPs. We are on the penultimate lap of the race. TY still in the lead. Bidster's catching him. It's really close now. Bidster's having to push here. 57.9s down the board. Consistent as hell. TY 58s, not quite as consistent, but still doing his best. And the question is now, Will, can TY's tyres hold up for another lap?
Yeah, that's going to be a real question. TY's tyres are gone, and there's a little bit of a slide in the rear end there, and now Bidster is going to have that great straight line speed coming out of this corner, so it's going to be an all-out fight to see who's going to get this on the last lap win.
So let's watch this then on the last lap. We're going to stay with this for the whole last lap. TY here across the line, looks like fuel has been timed to perfection. He can turn it all the way up now, turn the wick up and try and get as far ahead as he can to TY 186. Bidster 207. The Peugeot so fast in a straight line, hooking that inside curb. TY is going to be looking in his mirrors with his eyes like golf balls. He's going to be absolutely petrified in that mirror because he knows Bidster will have a go if he can. Now, traffic-wise has been good so far, but looks like he's going to get quite a bit in this hairpin, Will.
You're going to get really tied up in his hairpin, but he's going to get him out of it. I think he may only have to deal with one car, but if he can separate, TY can get that car right in between him and Bid, he'll have a little bit of a safe spot.
Okay, Will, I'll let you take it to the finish. This is all yours, buddy.
All right, TY is going to now take the Corvette going down on the oval and takes it, but Bid goes through too. Now it's going to be an all-out drag race. Bid's going to try to get in and get the draft. Bid pulls out, and he's going to get him going to the line.
Bidster wins the first race of the IMSA series. Well done, Bidster. TY is going to be such a frustrated second place. Absolutely tried his best though. Neil Farmack rounds off the podium in third. What a race, Will, as we've got Woo Woo in fourth. Just going to go through the order and then we'll get Will's thoughts. Red Bull's going to be fifth in LMP. Stevie's going to be sixth. We've got Rodders in seventh when he gets there eventually, and Jamo definitely eighth. And the winner of GT is not crossed yet, but we've got Keith finished. He's on the podium in third. Good opening race for Keith, and Firepower in fourth. And then further down, but we've got the GT winner coming up now, and it's going to be one of the new guys. If Will's alright with me, I'll take this one, as we've got Florida Man coming down the last corner. It's his first official race in LPB racing, and he's only just gone and won the thing. Absolutely brilliant win for Florida Man in the Lexus, and the whole team, and the MGR Lexus will be in second in class. What a race, Will, and let's get some of your thoughts on that now.
That was an amazing race, especially coming down to that last lap. I mean, Bid made up so much time coming to the end of the race there to make that, like, on the last straightaway, to make the pass coming to the line on TY. That was an amazing finish between them two. GT cars were very respectful with the traffic. Our prototypes were not instances with traffic, and it was just a great race overall.
We're just going to do a live replay of the overtake for the lead, because it was very, very close with especially with Bradders. So I'm just going to rewind the replay, Will, to 41:50 on the clock above the play symbol, and then we'll play from there in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's have a little replay of the end, because this was an absolutely phenomenal finish, Will, and TY must have been absolutely kicking himself, because he must have known, I need to get past Bradders now, but I've got past him, but then he sees bits to go through as well, because Bradders goes wide, and TY must have such a sinking feeling at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, on the straightaway, it's just a Peugeot was unbeatable in a straight line, and there was just nothing that he could do. So, I mean, it sucks for TY. He did that much work to get to the front, but Bid had to do just enough work to catch him, and it just turned out to an amazing race at the end.
Absolutely brilliant action there, and we were just going to go. We'll just go now and get some of the replays well, not replays, but just the results and everything else. Now, unfortunately, guys, the hard drive that I had all the results on everything, unfortunately got corrupted, so we are having to skip this, but in future, obviously, I will be live streaming these races. I've got the first 3 rounds on video, which I'm going to put up like this, but then I'll be doing the results live as we do it, so apologies for that. So, as we come back from the results then, there is your winner of LMP, Bidster in Division 1. Well done to Bidster there. And then the winner of GT, we have Florida Man, and an epic win there for a rookie driver. And for his first race, he definitely put down the gauntlet, Will.
Yeah, I mean, for the rookie races, even his teammate, both of them, this is their first race with us. They had a 1-2 in qualifying, and they went to a 1-2 in the race. They just had a great performance in the race today, and that's going to be a team to really watch out for in the next few races, at least in GT as we saw already, and to see what they can do with their prototype cars. I mean, it was just a great showing from that Lexus team. Very
good showing from them, and obviously Bidster sort of stole the win at the end, but that's the straight line speed of the Peugeot here, and got quite lucky with Bradders there at the end, moving out of the way, and I think TY was hoping to sort of sneak through and have Bradders sort of block Bidster on with the GR3 cars taking the line, but unfortunately that didn't quite work out for TY.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't work out in TY's favor. It's just that Peugeot has such amazing, great straight line speed. We saw it a lot before. TY was only getting up to, 186 in the Toyota, and bid was doing 208. So
Yeah,
you really
difference.
saw that massive difference there between the two. In the middle of the track, they're really even. I mean, even the hybrid is actually better in the middle of the track, but it's just in that part of the track, the Peugeot was better, and it turned out to really work in Bid's favor.
So a good race there by all. Jamo really struggled at the back, and we might see Jamo next time. We'll have to see, but I think there was some rumours that Jamo might have to leave the series for a little bit, but we'll see how that turns out. But we got the 1-1-2 for the Lexus in GT, and Keith and Firepower. The Jaguars are not too far behind, so if the Jaguars pick up the pace a little bit, they could be easily challenging the Lexus team.
And they really could, and I mean anybody could, because that Division 2 I think will be some really good racing we'll see, because not everybody is actually too far off. And in qualifying, you would think how the Lexus dominated in the race. You would think they were half a second quicker than everybody. Actually, they weren't that far off. Qualifying was very tight in Division 2. So
there was only half a second between the top four. That's how close it was. Very close indeed.
And the only reason, we had a few problems, guys having controller issues and all that kind of, set the race back, forming disconnect issues, really kind of hindered some people's race, and just tire choices. So I think once everybody gets this figured out and kind of works with it, Division 2 will be really good racing, because, like you said, the Jags weren't far off. They were really competitive too. Ian had his best qualifying I think we've seen from him an actual qualifying session, starting third. So I think Ian Firepower will be someone to really watch out for in this series, to see what he can do and see if maybe he can finally get that elusive win.
So there you go, Firepower. You've heard it from Will. So get on with it. So you've been given the kick up the bum. So let's see what you can do. So, but yeah, thank you all for joining us for this first race of the IMSA series. We will now see you guys next time for race 2. So from me and Will, take care.